think you are even panicked.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
why do you panic?
The way you Papa, you know Papa. What you used to fan charcoal.
Right.
You've seen it before.
Right.
When you fan it, then the charcoal bright red.
This is a call for accountability.
You fan government's charcoal to it's bright red.
It's a call for accountability.
I enjoy it.
Johnny, first and foremost, let me take this opportunity I've got. I've been seeing you for quite some time. You are doing very good job for the mother Ghana. Remain undaunted.
This is our society, right? And it will take me and you. That's why I always watch Johnny's Bite.
The general watches Johnny's Bite
every day.
Thank you very much.
And it's devoid of insults, but straight to the point, factual and fearless.
Charlie, no be joke. The pressure people like Johnny can give you.
No.
You know, get grey hair, you get grey hair.
I'm innocent.
And that's what I'm saying. That the pressure Johnny and his people, the pressure they can give you, you know, get grey hair, you go get. So your best bet is not to have hair.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. And surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Good morning. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Good morning to you, Mr. President. I trust you are fine. I'm sure you have heard the cries of the intellectual community, UTAG, TEU, and all those people who were striking, SITAG, all of those who were striking, the registered anesthetics, everybody else who was striking at the beginning of the year. I'm sure you have had the labor unrest, which is the reason there was even the labor conference that was hard to try and find a makeable solution, a lasting solution, we called it. Mr. President, I'm sure you have also heard about the fuel price increases and the transport fares increases and the hardship on Ghanaians. I'm sure you have heard that the prices of porridge have gone up, the prices of kenke have gone up. I'm sure you have heard that the prices of gobe, wache have gone up. Mr. President, I'm sure you also know that times are hard for many Ghanaians and they are complaining. Maybe they have not told you, Mr. President, but most of the people who are defending you on social media these days are now sharing jokes and quotes of love. Oh, yes, they are. Check their pages if you know them. They are now sharing jokes and quotes of love. Those who are honest among them are acknowledging that indeed times are hard. Mr. President, following up on your promises that you made to the people of the Republic of Ghana, and following up on the pledges that you have made to the people of Ghana, and sometimes in meeting the groups, for example, the people of Shama are hoping for when you will come to them to say, this is the hospital I promised you, this is the hospital I cut salt for. Mr. President, the people of Ghana are hoping for you to give them an update on Agenda 111. It moved from 88 hospitals, 6 regional hospitals. Now it's Agenda 111. You cut short for it. We had a big ceremony. And Mr. President, I must say that you don't fail to acknowledge ceremonies. I don't know if it's your background as the son of a former, leader of this country or as a royal. I don't know where that comes from. But you have a certain flair for ceremonies and launches and cutting sword and all of that. But the people who lead you sometimes to go and cut the sword, sorry, Mr. President, they often don't come back to tell you where progress work has gotten to, which is why we have taken it upon ourselves as press to be able to tell you the truth as it is, unblemished, uncoated, raw, unadulterated. Mr. President, are you aware this morning that the national service personnel are still hanging on to 559 Ghana cedis? In all of what is happening, their transport fares have gone up, the cost of food has gone up, everything else has gone up, but their national service allowance, and that they are even threatening to hit the streets, and they say that for 2 months they have not been paid, Mr. President. Are you aware, sir? Perhaps your people at the National Service Secretariat may not have told you. Or is it to give an indication that indeed times are hard and that if, for example, we don't pass the E-levy, we may not be able to get money? Some school of thought says that, look, it is part of the strategy to make people realize that if you don't pass the E-levy, you will not get it. But Mr. President, it was said in November 2021, 17 November 2021, that if we don't pass the E-levy, we're going to have hard times. November has come, December has come, January has come. Maybe February is the test case. Mr. President, that's the love letter that the National Service personnel wrote. They wrote it on the 1st of March 2022. Concerns surrounding the NSS 2 months allowance arrears. In recent times, there have been clear scores of astronomical and obnoxious increases in the prices of transport fares, data bundles, foodstuff, and other consumables, all in the wake of this economic warfare. It has also been the core mandate of the NSS scheme to ensure that priority sectors of our national life are never lacking in the requisite human resources needed for development. But this is handicapped in a way when the individuals mandated to augment the necessary sectors are hungry and have no transport fare to commute to work. Personnel poised to serve the nation as part of their civic responsibility have been deprived of their 2 months payment unnecessarily with no prior information in that regard. We are by this missive aggressively registering our displeasure surrounding the late timeline the allowance is processed and its meager worth, and in the bid to do so, we call on all discerning and well-meaning NSPs, that's National Service Personnel, to join us in the quest to press home what is due us. It is readily apparent that the only language that is understood is a strike action, but we hope it doesn't get to that. The NSPs harmoniously chorus in one accord, saying if our remuneration can't be increased, it should be paid on time. This is to all media houses. They sent this love letter to you through us, Mr. President. Even National Service personnel are complaining. And you see, National Service for me is critical because it is that essence of giving back to your country after your country had given you education up to a certain level. This saddens my heart. It bleeds my heart. 559 Ghana cedis, that's what they are paid, Mr. President. The last time it was increased from, was I think for 350 Ghana cedis. Now it's 559 Ghana cedis, Mr. President. That is one aspect of the whole game, Mr. President. So they say times are hard. There are monies that are not even able to take them home have been delayed for 2 months without prior information. Now put yourself in their shoes, Mr. President. How would you cope? Because some of these guys who are National Service personnel and are frown upon, the phenomenon where somebody is posted to a certain place and they go and, go and machinate and work and use protocol means to try and get, away from it. The other time I did a calculation of how much a National Service personnel spends in a day. So let's say they even live in Accra, and they have the benefit of transportation, vehicles, and good roads in Accra. So they are moving from Adenta to, say, ministries. I used 2 CD 50 pesos at the time in, 2 CD 50 pesos out. I can't use that example now because we all know what has happened. The fuel prices have gone up. And yesterday I asked the question. I say, yes, the fuel prices have gone up. It's a global phenomenon. There's your exchange rate, there are your taxes there. But there's also the windfall at the top because you estimated to sell it at a certain amount. Now, if it's gone beyond the $100 mark, where is that excess money going? Nobody has answered yet. I'll wait. I'm sure the answers will come. So that's revenue for us. But I'm saying that months ago, about 2 months ago, I used 2 CD 50 pesos if you were coming from Adenta all the way to ministries. Now, I fear to use that example because the transport fare from Adenta to ministries has been increased by 15%. So if you're a National Service person and you were even managing your 559, that's no longer the case. That is no longer the case. Now you go to work, you have to drink water. Maybe let's assume that you are not a habitual water drinker like me, so you drink water 3 times a day. So 1 CD, 1 CD, 1 CD, that's 3 CDs gone. Add to your transport, we could have reached by now by 8 CDs, maybe 10 CDs. Add to that. Then add your wache if you want to have breakfast this morning. The cocoa sellers don't sell cocoa at 1 cedi anymore. They sell 1 cedi 50 pesos. If you buy 1 cedi, no sugar. So unless you want to live a sugar-free life, you cannot buy cocoa at 1 cedi anymore. That's the reality on the ground, Mr. President. So you buy cocoa 1 cedi 50 pesos. Let's say you are not a big eater like some of the people I know. So you decide to buy just 1 or 2 kose or just a small piece of bread. That's 2 cedis for you. So add that to your 1 cedi 50 pesos. Then add that to your 3 cedis for water. Then add that to your 10 cedis for transport. How much have you spent so far? Mr. President, when you are done with that, lunch will come. You have to go and eat. Wache. Can you buy wache 3 cedis these days? Where? If you buy wache 3 cedis these days, it will be difficult for you. If you are even a moderate eater, it will be difficult. You won't be satisfied. So you may go to 4 cedis. Maybe add gari 1 cedi, macaroni 1 cedi, modestly maybe 1 boiled egg or fish. So by the time you come home, the money is literally finished. That's like a week or 2. Done. Finished. End. So they are saying that if you cannot increase what you're giving them, Mr. President, at least, Mr. President, pay them what is owed them. Now, these are a couple of the issues that have engaged my mind all through last night. And that's why I'm asking you, Mr. President, the last time you met the press was on the 20th of January, December 2020. I was there. I was seated in front. I was invited. Fatih Abubakar, who is now Deputy Minister for Information, and Mr. Kojo Ponkroma, who is still maintaining his position, they invited me. I was there. I was seated at the front. In fact, I was seated close to Mr. Kwesi Pratt and Okatechie, Frifa, and a couple of others. Mr. President, do you remember that on that occasion, I raised my hand because I was seated right in front of you, just about 6 steps away from you. I raised my hand throughout the session. Nobody called me. I'm not saying I'm special. I wasn't called, and a couple of other people were not called as well. In fact, the GJA president at the time was not even called as well. But the interesting thing is that Media General presented about 6 representatives from 3FM 92.7. Winston Amwa was there. Asempa, who is now at Adom FM, was there on behalf of Onia TV and Onia FM. Bright Danamfo, who is now with Metro TV, was there on behalf of TV3. Seda Mofori was there on behalf of the Media General Group. He was a general manager of news. I was there, and one other person whose name doesn't readily come to mind. We were all there. Some media houses had 3 rounds of questions. We were not given a chance. But later, Kojo came to explain to us that, some of these things happen. That's fair. But I'm saying, Mr. President, the last time you met the press was in 2019. I can understand that in 2020 we had COVID-19, so it was a difficult time to meet. But I know that in 2021 you had met different groups of people, chiefs, received all manner of persons at the presidency. Your director of communications, Mr. Johnnie, I remember in 2017, and he maybe pull that up for me, that link. In 2017, said he will put the press first. Mr. Johnnie recently started a bi-weekly press meeting, meeting the press at the Jubilee House. We did it for about 3 or 4 times, and then we stopped. Koko, hold on. It says, I will put the media first at all times. Johnnie, January 5, 2017. This is Johnnie promising that the media will be first at all time. Now, he held a bi-weekly press conference for just a few days. 9-day one that has ended. So, Mr. Johnnie, we are begging you, bring back that engagement so we can channel our questions at least through our presidential correspondence to ask you. But, Mr. President, the reminder that you have not met the press for a long time, you have also postponed the State of the Nation address. Danny, pull that picture of President Buzia, Prime Minister Buzia, meeting with the press and addressing the press in 1969. And this is from no less a place than the Statesman. This is a Statesman magazine. And I had a couple of these old documents, the Statesman magazine. Now, this is Prime Minister Buzia meeting the press. Prime Minister Buzia met the press. So, what is holding the president's leg from meeting the press? What is holding the president's leg from abiding by the provisions of the 1992 Constitution, Article 67, that says he must deliver a message of the State of the Nation to Parliament at the beginning of the session? Parliament has had 21, 22 meetings, I don't remember, sittings. Where's the president? All the issues that are happening. Is the president not aware? Mr. President, are you aware that the school feeding program, the expansion of the school feeding program has been suspended so that we could pay arrears to the caterers? When are you meeting the press, Mr. President? The caterers come crying to us. They don't cry to you anymore. They cry to us. And you say that you are halting the expansion, something that Dr. Mwaku Tufo had envisaged many years ago under President Kufuor. You are halting the expansion so that you can pay the arrears. What it means is that if you had arrears, the quality of the food will drop. If you had arrears, once the quality of the food drops, it will affect the nutritional capacity of the children, and it will even affect the pedagogical approach to teaching the children in the classroom. Now, for a president who says education is paramount and central to you, this should not be happening under your watch. And a gentle reminder, Mr. President, you promised the children that you will give them a warm cup of cocoa drink every single day. You promised that you were going to give them a bar of chocolate every single day. Your pledge was that it was going to help us to expand the frontiers of the the consumption of cocoa in this country. You said it, Mr. President, and you said it under the banner of the school feeding program. So chocolate no come, cocoa drink no come. Now the expansion of the school feeding program, even though we are talking about a lot of people, a lot of students and pupils getting in, you say you are pausing it to pay arrears. So there were arrears, by the way. So why were we denying that there were no arrears when the school feeding caterers came asking that arrears were there? I leave it here, Mr. President, but my ultimate question, when are you meeting the press? We want to meet you. We miss you, Mr. President. We miss you. Good morning.
And it's time now for the big issue right here on TV3 New Day. Join us in the conversation with the hashtag TV3 New Day on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're also streaming live on Facebook at TV3 Ghana and also on DSTV channel 279. In the studios this morning, every Thursday, of course, it is the strength of a woman in the studios. And I have with me this morning Ellen Amat Dako. She's a team member of the NPP communications team, also rocking We're Ghana. And I like it. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah,
How are you too?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. And also we have lawyer Joyce Bar Mukhtari. She's a special aide to former President John Dramani Mahama and also a former Deputy Minister of Transport. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing as well?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Okay. I'm good. Thank you very much. You're doing encounter traffic on your way?
Crazy
You left
traffic.
pretty early. Crazy traffic?
Yes, crazy. It's quite heavy.
Ha. Well, so for you who's stuck in traffic and you probably might have to pay a lot more for fuel as well.